I say good morning. Happy Monday to you guys. Sorry I'm late. System updates. But anyway, welcome back to another episode of Mondays with Coach Rice, your dose of inspiration, growth, and faith based encouragement to help you navigate through life's challenges and opportunities. I'm your host, Coach Rice. I am honored to walk you through as we explore how viewing our lives through the lenses of seasons can transform our spiritual growth and deepen our connection with God. That is so important. I think about seasons so much because as I navigate through life's issues and sometimes good times, bad times, whatever time, I often think about it as seasons. And I would encourage you today to always think about how you deal with things in life through the lenses of seasons. So today we're going to talk about that. Just like natural seasons, you got the spring, summer, fall, and winter. Remember that song, Spring, Summer, Fall, and Winter? No. But anyway, our lives go through so many different phases, and each one has its own unique purpose, actually. And so, whether you facing seasons of blooming, growth, change, or rest, know that you are exactly where you need to be and that seasons don't last forever. I want you to remember seasons, if you notice, they don't last forever. So let's take this journey through each season together as we see how we can relate to each stage of our lives, our growth, and our process for self transformation. My goal is by the end of our time together that my goal and hope is that you really find peace and purpose and whatever season you're in, knowing that God is right with you, guiding you, and working it out for your good. I want you to remember that. And understanding seasons, I want you to also think about we don't always, just like the life seasons don't always follow a sequence like nature. Natural seasons come spring, summer, fall, and winter. We know they're gonna come. We just don't know when they're gonna happen. We know it, kind of like the time frame, but we don't know exactly when. Sometimes they may last long. Some seasons last longer than others, right? So sometimes we don't. We know when it kind of coming, but we don't know how it's gonna be, or what's likely to be in front of us, right? But natural seasons, a little life seasons can be a little different from life seasons because it's not it's not it's not in a predictable or orderly fashion. Sometimes a person may experience like a fall season of letting go immediately followed by another spring or new beginnings or something like that, or it may go through a prolonged winter season where they find themselves in a summer of abundance afterwards. So sometimes, they go in ebb and flows, right? And it's just, but we want to recognize which season we're in. That's the important part. And the reason why it's so important, the reason why it's so important is because each person's journey is different. And with seasons repeating, overlapping, they may and also appearing in unexpected ways. The key is to embrace each season as it comes to find that lesson, that growth, the opportunity for growth, and what each season brings. So just picture when a wave comes in the sea, we can go with it and through it, or we can go against the current. And when we go against the current, the wave hits harder, and more than likely, we get caught up in it. So picture when we fight against the seasons and not embrace them, we can get caught up. We can actually fight against it. It's going to happen. You can't do nothing about that. Just like the hurricane that just happened in Florida. Unfortunately, it happened. It was nothing they can do, but the only thing they could do was obey the commands that was given to them by evacuating. If you don't evacuate and you want to stay there, that's when you're going to deal with and get caught up in the current versus leaving and allowing it to happen and come back. and deal with the next season that you have to deal with. We have to, that's why it's important to look at life as seasons so we can learn how to navigate those parts of our lives. So I'm going to start off with the spring, because spring, when I think about spring, I think about a season of growth, opportunity, and a fresh start, right? A season full, when you think about a season full of life, color, new beginnings, when the flowers are blooming. I don't know about you, but I remember 8444 South Euclid when I used to walk out the house, and because in Chicago you got all four seasons, so you get a chance to experience all four seasons operating, right? And I remember walking outside and just looking at the flowers bloom and the trees start to have new leaves, that sense of like renewal all around us, right? Our lives are similar. Spring is that time when we start something new, a new job, a new relationships, or a new outlook on life, or a new location where we may move, right? You embracing it. I'm embracing that kind of, I'm embracing it now because we just moved, and I'm embracing my new environment, and and it's just so nice because it feels like spring right now to me when we went through a season, different seasons, and I'll talk about that. But right now in the season I'm in, it feels like, in my personal life, it feels like spring. And so it's really awesome. And so imagine like planting seeds during this time, what seeds are, you intentional about. You intentional about your dreams, your plans. Right now I'm planting seeds in my business, and I feel like I'm in that spring season as well. I would say maybe, yeah, spring season, because I'm planting seeds, and they need nurturing, they need sunlight, they need water, they need patience, because you're not gonna see things right away sometimes, because it takes time for growth, right? And just like my personal goals, your personal goals, I need support. I need time. I need dedication to grow. I need to pull on the support I have. I need that. I need that. This is that time of the season where I'm in, and I need that. In scripture, it reminds me, spring is often associated with renewal and spiritual rebirth as well. I remember that it reminds me of the scripture in 2 Corinthians 5:17, where it talks about anyone who belongs to Christ had become a new person. The old life is gone and a new life just begun. That's what spring kind of remind me of. A time when God is doing something fresh, planting seeds of hope, faith, and purpose in our lives, right? Where the old life is gone and a new life has begun. And springs just remind me of that. Like, you don't think about you leave the past where it is, and you embrace this new opportunity, fresh new projects that you may have. Dive into your new spiritual growth or your new job. Just enjoying the newness of it, taking it all in. That's what it remind me of. Spring just remind me of taking it all in, and that fresh new smell and things of that nature. So if you in the spring season, that's when you want to know, am I really in this season? Think about it. If you in the spring season right now, God might be planting seeds in your heart. You may feel this stirring of something new, whether it's a new ministry, a new relationship, or a new career. This is a time to plant seeds of faith, to trust God and his timing, because his timing is everything, and open to his leading. Just like flowers bloom, trees bud, this is your moment to step into this newness that God has for you. If you are in this season of spring right now, ask yourself, what seeds am I planting? How can I nurture this new growth that's happening? And remember, everything starts small, but with the right care, dreams blossom. What new beginnings is God bringing into your life right now? You want to ask yourself that. Remember, just as nature, the seeds you plant now will bear fruit in time. So you want to tend to them carefully and trust God to bring you the growth that you're looking for. Then you got the summer, right? The summer, I love summertime. I kid you not, that is one of my favorite seasons. And probably the reason why, which is in in nature. It's really pretty. The season is warm. It reminds me of this season really represents warmth, abundance, action, fruitfulness, right? And summer is I love summertime so much because it's where you see kind of the results of your hard work and faith. So if you planted seeds in the spring, you see it blossom, you see the beautiful roses come up in the summer because of the warmth, right? It's a time when our efforts, begin to bear the fruit spiritually and practically. So in our own lives, summer is like when we in full swing, we working our goals and we're active and we're reaping the benefits. Like right now I'm in spring, I ain't in summer yet. I already know where I'm at. So we active, we're reaping the benefits of the seeds that we planted in the spring. And this is when the fruits of our labor come to life, right? And just like I'm ready to start. And matter of fact, tomorrow, that's one of the fruits in my business that I'll be in. I'm going into summer season where I planted so much in the spring to get this mentorship program up and running. And now this is the summer where I start to see the plants grow, right? And so that's what you want to really think about. Like, though when you in the summer season, because summer is when everybody is outside enjoying the water. If you got water near you, people mostly take vacations during the summer because that's when it's like the fruits of your labor. You worked all year, now it's time to go for a vacation, right? It's really powerful. So it reminds me of like Galatians 6:9 when he said, let's not become weary in our well doing, for in the proper time we'll reap the harvest of when we did not give up. So you worked all year for this vacation, you didn't give up. So summer is a time for harvest, a time to enjoy the blessings that God has blessed us with, a time to be grateful, a time to see our prayers answered sometimes, and a time to just embrace those moments that we didn't deserve, but we received because God had blessed us with back grace. And so sometimes we'll feel reserved because we did work hard, and that's true. We did work hard, so you're gonna reap the harvest. That's gonna come anyway. But just being grateful for what we have, and remember, just like nature, when a harvest comes, it's also a season of stewardship. It's about caring for what God has entrusted us with, our relationships, our jobs, our work, our spiritual gifts, sharing those blessings with others. That's what it's all about, is being a good steward over what God blessed us with. I have not always been a good steward, but I'm learning how to do that because I had to learn how to do that in a different season, which I'll talk about when it comes up. But it's also a time to soak in that sunshine of your accomplishments. Don't forget to stay grounded and balanced. Just as a plant needs watering regularly during summer heat, you need to keep fueling your passions, protecting your energy, protecting your heart, protecting and maintaining a healthy balance. And that way you can enjoy your summer, when you do that. And if you're in the summer season, rejoice. It's a time to be thankful for what God has blessed us with, his provision. Celebrate those blessings in your life and stay connected to him and all his goodness, because it is a blessing when you look at it. And since it's a season of fruitfulness, don't forget to maintain spiritual health and stay rooted in God's word. I kid you not. That, if you're in this summer season, celebrate your wins and stay connected to your journey and enjoy the abundance that this time brings. I'm in a season where I'm getting my health back in order, getting my weight loss journey, been walking and running. And this is that season where I'm enjoying that, enjoying the abundance that I'm able to do that. The area I'm able to get back into I'm able to get back into it. And if you're in a season of summer right now, ask yourself, how are you being a good steward over what God has blessed you with? And how can I maintain that balance of stewardship? How can I maintain and utilize the abundance that he blessed us with and bring glory to him? And summer is not just a season of enjoying, but it's also a time for sharing and giving back. Usually, that's when if you ever notice in the summertime, people are having like barbecues. People are really sharing around that time because it changes your mood as well. It's putting you in this mood of like joy and strength and allow you to be able to say, let me share this. This is so beautiful. You seeing the beauty around you. So it's a reason for that season. There's purpose in that season. And so now we're gonna go into the season of fall. Fall, when it comes to fall, that season kind of reminds me of change, transition, reflection. It's a you know, when I used to be, in Chicago, I remember fall was beautiful, and it did have the vibrant colors, and but also a time which it was time of transition and letting go. I saw leaves falling off the trees, shedding, and making space for new growth in the future. That's what that really represented. When we were in school, we used to have to go pick up leaves off the ground and bring them in so they can share what these represented. So in our lives, fall is a season where we start to reflect and take stock on what's working and what's not working, what's necessary. We just went through the fall season. My husband and I, where we were like, okay, what do we need to do now? It's time to let go some things that don't serve us. And it reminds me of Ecclesiastes. That's one of my favorite books in the Bible, where it talks about there's a time for everything and every season and every activity under the heavens. A time to be born, a time to die. It gives a time to plant, a time to uproot. It gives all of these times to do stuff, right? So seasons are important and they are purposeful in our lives. And fall is a time of pruning, letting go things that no longer serve us. No things in our lives, even when serving the Lord. What is it that God want me to let go so I can move forward? It could be a mindset, a habit, even a relationship that God is calling us to release so we can move forward into what He has next. It's a time of deep reflection, and remember how far He has brought us and prepare us for this, for the new growth that's coming. So letting go things, I thank God that I don't really hold on to stuff too tight, because I'm always prepared to say, Lord, you got to be willing to let go and be ready to move where God tell you to move. I've always been the type that it's hard. I ain't gonna lie, I struggle, and I ask God, why do I struggle with where I don't hold on to things? I just let it go. But there used to be something I used to that used to bother me, but now I embrace it because I thank God that I got to be willing to let go so I can move on to the next thing that He has for me. That's what I kind of think of it as. And if I'm not careful, yeah, it could be a little dysfunctional if I'm not careful. But I have no problem with letting go some things when it comes to tangible things. When it comes to relationships, that's a little different. But if you are in the fall season, ask yourself, what is it that I need to let go of? What is it that God is telling me to let go of? What is it that I need to let go that's not serving me? What old habits, beliefs, situations that I need to release so I can grow? Because sometimes we have bad habits, right? Bad relationships, limiting beliefs, that's holding us back from growing. We just have to let it go and ask God to help us through the process of it, because this is a season. And that's why it's important to know what season you're in, so you can know you don't want to let go of something too soon, or not let go or let it go too late. That's why you really have to be in sync with, I'm telling you, being in sync with the Lord is so important for us, this especially in the season right now. We're in a season of uncertainty, but it can mean something different for all of us. And so we really want to embrace, what does that look like? Just like leaves fall to the ground, sometimes we need to let go of things in our lives and create space for something new. And so we can continue to move along, because we always moving, we always evolving and growing. And that's what we want to do. So if you in this fall season, it may be a time where you may feel a sense of loss or change. Just remember, God is pruning you pruning us for greater fruitfulness. Just as the tree shed leaves, shed leaves to prepare for the winter and new growth, we are being prepared for something greater. It's not always bad, to see it that way, right? And so we want to know if we're in that season. Let's talk about the winter. Is one of my, I ain't gonna lie, that's not my favorite season because it's cold. It feels cold. It's cold. I don't care if I'm no matter where we at, it feel cold. But winter is a season, when I think about it, is it can be difficult. I ain't gonna lie, when I used to live in Chicago, winter was the worst for me. It can be difficult but it's essential for growth. We need it. It's a time of rest, testing, maybe deepening your faith. It is a time of rest. If you ever notice, in the winter, people don't go outside much. It represents a time of waiting, to sit still, and sometimes we may deal with some trials during the winter. It's a time where we just take a pause and reflect on the past year and rejuvenate. You ever notice that New Year's always in the wintertime, like in kind of, in that season where it's a time to pause and reflect on that year that you had. It's okay to step back from the hustle and bustle. Take a break, recharge. That's one of the hardest things for me, is to recharge. In the wintertime, I want to act like it's summer, and that's a problem because I'm not in that season. But this is a powerful time that I'm learning to just take a break and just allow myself to grow spiritually, planning, business wise, getting ready for the next chapter. You can't take the same behavior from one place to the next. So that growth has to happen. It reminds me of the scripture of Psalms when it say, "Be still and know that I'm God." That's a time. That's what winter is. Be still. Know that He got you. It's a time where God may seem quiet as well. I've been in that season where He felt really quiet. And when it's time to rest, my mind is not moving so fast, but it's a time where it's just, silence for growth. Your character is developed. Your faith is strengthened during that time, because imagine, I had to ask myself one time, if He's quiet, am I going to still trust Him? Can I trust Him when He's not saying a word? That's where my faith is strengthened, is that because I know and trust that He's there no matter what. And usually when He's not saying a word, it's not like He's not speaking to me through the word of God, or I'm not saying He's verbally speaking to me. I'm saying that when I'm not getting instructions, basically. That's what I mean when I say that. I want to clarify that, because God ain't verbally saying, "Martha, do this." No, He's speaking to me through His word. I just want to clarify that, because I used to think, different, but I just want to clarify that. But in this season, this is a season where you want to rely on Him, because you are in a space of rest. Sometimes it's hard for us to rest because it feels very isolated. It feels very lonely. But it's a time where we do have, if we take it and use it as a time to reflect and pray and think of it as renewal, it changes its dynamic. And so remember that rest is just as productive as action. And just like the soil in the ground has to rest to prepare for the next planting season, we have to and need to take moments of rest to prepare for the next big move. Because if you are in a winter season, you want to embrace that rest. I'm preaching to myself, because I have a hard time resting. And let God renew our strength, deepen our faith, and just prepare us for the next thing. Prepare us for what is to come. What is God working on beneath the surface? Getting us ready for that. So I want you to reflect on this when you're in the winter season. What ways is God inviting me to rest and deepen my faith during this season? And how can I draw closer to Him and prepare for the growth that's coming? Because I don't want to go and not be prepared, and I didn't take the time to rest. So if you're in a winter season, give yourself permission to rest and reflect on what you learned, what you achieved, and start envisioning on where you want to go next. And so that's very helpful in the winter season. So I'm gonna tie it all together. And Ecclesiastes 3:11, it reminds us that He has made everything beautiful in His time. God's timing is so impeccable. His time and His season every season has its unique purpose. So whether you are in the spring, which is new beginnings, summer of abundance, fall of transition, winter of stillness and rest, God is with you. He guiding you through and molding you to be more like Him. Each of us has a different season that we're in, and it's perfectly okay. But seasons change, and they don't stay for a long time. They do change. You move from one season to the next. So ask yourself right now, what season am I in? And what do I need to do to embrace this season, accept the season I'm in? What does my season look like? And which area do I fit in so I can operate properly and not go against the wave of it, right? And so viewing our life through the lenses of seasons embraces it puts us in a posture to embrace a different perception. It puts us in a posture of spiritual growth. It puts us in a posture of growth, period. It encourages us to be patient, adapt, purposeful as we live. It gives us hope, resilience. It gives us balance to reflect and also rest. It improves our relationships, and it also allows us to have gratitude even in the worst moments of our lives. It gives us the ability to pull on that gratefulness. Understanding our current season helps us to be more graceful and allows us to learn to lean on God's purpose. Just remember, seasons change. God's love and faithfulness is constant. He's with us. He's been with us through every season of our life. I remember me and my husband being in a season a long time ago, and it was the winter season in life, not winter as far as like the nature, but it was just a season where we were broke. Like we were losing everything because we was in transition from fall to winter. And what it looked like was we were giving up things that didn't no longer serve us because we had got saved. God had showed us what the way we were living. We can't live like that no more. We were in that season where we were doing things we weren't supposed to do, right? So we went through a really tough season where we were broke. But I'm gonna tell you, in that season, let me tell you what I learned. I experienced God as a provider. We lost cars. Like because we had to go transition from being in a season of it was abundance to a season of dry because we wasn't doing we wasn't doing things we weren't supposed to do. So it causes us to give up that, but we lost this. And what we lost was like, we lost those really beautiful cars we had, right? And I never forget, we didn't have any transportation. And it wasn't long. Somebody handed us keys to their cars that was paid off. And I was like, whoa. But that was the season we were in. We was experiencing God's provision. And we was experiencing God as provider. If we were never broke, we would never understand who He is as a provider. He provided. We didn't have food. We had somebody bring us so much food. We had to call someone that was going through the same season that we was in, and it blessed both homes. That's what I'm talking about. That was a season that I was able to experience God as Jehovah Jireh, my provider. it was a gift. It was a season where I was gifted because I couldn't fight against it. We were new in our salvation. We had to let go some things that didn't serve us, but we got blessed beyond measure. It's like when the children of Israel, when he was feeding them manna from heaven, they didn't even realize they was getting food that was giving them the best nutrients in the world. And if you don't see it, it'll be like that. You'll complain, and that's it. We didn't complain. We just went with the flow. But that was the season that God allowed us to go through. But it really gave us that. It really sealed a lot of trust in that season. That walking with the Lord, Him holding our hand through that season. That was the season we was in, and that's why I say, whatever season you in, make the most of it, honor it, celebrate it, grow through it, and just like natural seasons, remember, that too shall pass, leading you into the next phase of your life journey. So I just want to close today and encourage you guys to take a moment and reflect on what season you in, and how you can embrace what the purpose of it is for you in this time. And whatever seeds you planted, enjoy the harvest, letting go or resting. Know that God is using this season so you could get to know who He is in your life and shape you and prepare you for what's next. Thank you for joining me on this Monday morning with Mondays with Coach Rice. If this message has encouraged you in any way, be sure to subscribe. Share with someone who might need to hear it. Connect with me on social media. Let me know if it really blessed you. Remember that every season is a gift, and God is with us all, even in this uncertainty of time. What is God telling you to do in this season, in this time? Ask Him what is it that He wants you to do, and just follow it. Trust Him. Until next time, I'm Coach Rice. I pray you find peace, purpose, and God's presence in whatever season you're in. Have a blessed and beautiful week. And remember, share this if you want to. It's not about how many subscribers I get. It's really about helping us grow together. So have a happy Monday. I'm signing off. I just want to thank you guys for listening. My listeners that are faithful, thank you for listening. Share it, subscribe, continue to, I'll see you again. Not next week for podcast, but I'll see you next week with a word of inspiration that God has blessed me with, or a part of my journey that I'm on. I just want to thank you for listening, and have a blessed Monday.